In the unforgiving wilderness of South Dakota in the year 1823, when the frontier was a land of endless forests, raging rivers, and predators both human and beast, a man named Hugh Glass, a rugged fur trapper hardened by years of adventure, faced a horror that would have killed almost anyone else, a story so terrifying and inspirational that it still echoes through history 2 centuries later. Glass was on an expedition with a band of trappers when one fateful morning, while scouting ahead, he stumbled upon the worst nightmare the wilderness could offer, a massive grizzly bear with her cubs. And before he could even raise his rifle, the beast charged, claws tearing into his flesh, jaws crushing his bones, the weight of the animal slamming him to the ground as it mauled him again and again, ripping his back open, nearly tearing off his scalp, shattering his leg, and leaving him shredded, bleeding, and barely clinging to life. And though his companions managed to kill the bear, what they found afterward was a man so broken they believed he could not possibly survive. They tried to carry him, but the terrain was brutal, every step risking their own lives, so at last, with guilt and fear pressing them, they left 2 men behind, John Fitzgerald and Jim Bridger, to watch over Hugh until he died, but even they abandoned him after days of agony, taking his rifle, knife, and gear, convinced he was finished. Yet Hugh refused to die. Alone, weaponless, starving, with bones shattered and wounds crawling with infection, he began one of the most impossible journeys ever recorded, dragging his broken body mile after mile, crawling on hands and knees, sometimes on his stomach, through thorny brush and icy streams, using maggots to eat the dead flesh from his wounds to stop gangrene, surviving on berries, roots, and whatever scraps nature allowed, wrapping himself in animal hides for warmth, fighting off wolves over a buffalo carcass just to taste meat, and through it all, with fever raging and blood pouring, he kept moving, driven by the fire of survival and the thought of revenge against those who abandoned him. Week after week, he crawled, stumbled, and limped across nearly 200 miles of hostile wilderness, a man reduced to nothing but willpower, until finally he reached Fort Kiowa, shocking the world by walking into camp, gaunt, scarred, but alive, proof that no force, not a bear, not the wilderness, not betrayal, could break him. Though Hugh eventually forgave the men who left him, his legend lived on as one of the greatest survival stories of all time, later inspiring books and films like The Revenant, and his ordeal is more than just a tale of horror. It is a lesson in unyielding determination, showing us that when everything is stripped away, when you are abandoned, broken, and left for dead, the only thing that can keep you alive is the decision to keep moving, to refuse surrender, to crawl if you must but never stop, because survival is not given. It is earned. Hugh Glass's nightmare in the wilderness proves that even when life mauls you like a grizzly, even when your world turns into nothing but pain and betrayal, you can rise, scarred but stronger, carrying your story as proof that the human spirit is more powerful than death itself.